Today in this video, I want to talk about cooking. If you're a completionist like me, you're going to take the cooking minigame a little more seriously than the average player. Right now we are in patch 2.2. There are exactly 100 recipes to learn in the game. As a completionist, not only do we want to learn all 100 recipes, but we want to max the proficiency on each recipe as well. To be honest, this is not an easy feat with 100 total recipes. Cooking each one multiple times takes a lot of ingredients. So in this video, I want to display for you exactly how many of each ingredient it takes to complete this goal from start to finish. I also want to show the tool I created to help with this, and even give some tips on how to farm some of the more demanding ingredients. So this right here is a spreadsheet I use to keep track of all the ingredients. All the ingredients are listed along the left side in the first column, and they are sorted first by rarity and then subsequently sorted alphabetically. The next column shows the max proficiency, which is the amount of times you need to cook the recipe successfully. After that, the next column is where you have to manually input the current proficiency of each recipe from your game. The subsequent columns after that are just listing the initial ingredients required to cook each dish one time. After you have input your proficiencies from the game, you can click on the second tab at the bottom of the sheet and it will list the quantities of each ingredient you still need to max all of the recipes. Right now, I have all the proficiency set to 0, so this is the total quantities needed if you were starting a brand new account. This part of the sheet will also display some of the most abundant locations to find each ingredient. Keep in mind, it's not every location, it's just the most abundant sources. If you're really eager, you can find more locations by accessing the Genshin wiki or the interactive map, which I'll link in the pinned comment of this video. Many of the ingredients are going to take multiple days of farming to reach the required amounts needed, so keep that in mind. So one of the more notable ingredients that you're going to need to farm a ton of is raw meat. I would really encourage you every day to come to Dragon Spine here and farm these chilled meats from these boars. You're going to need 860 raw meats total, and that's just the base ingredients. You also can process the raw meat into other ingredients like bacon, sausage. I think there's smoked fowl. So you definitely want to take on this great snowboard king every single day, and he's going to drop a ton of chilled meats that you can turn into raw meats and use. Now, this also applies to the raw meats, which I just mentioned, but you're also going to need a lot of bird eggs and fowl. So I would highly encourage you to come to your expeditions every day, and you're going to want to look for these expeditions that have raw meat and fowl in them. And there's also some expeditions that have bird eggs. Subsequently, you can also get sweet flour, which is a necessary ingredient for a lot of recipes as well. So definitely do this every day. Come to your expeditions, at least until you finish maxing all your proficiencies in cooking. Just collect all these ingredients every day until you're done. So another thing you're going to need a lot of is crabs. So what you're going to want to do is come to the top of Star Snatch Cliff here. There is an island off the east coast that we're going to glide to. You want to make sure that before you glide in your gadgets menu, you have one of these portable waypoints, because we're going to plop one of those down once we land. So go ahead and jump off and glide to your destination. Alright, so once you make it onto the island, you're going to want to put down your portable waypoint. This will make sure that, so for the next week, you can come back here and farm these crabs every day. You should expect to get about 20 to 30 crabs each time you visit. And I just came here once a day and just farmed these guys. You're going to need hundreds and hundreds of crabs, so you're going to have to visit this island quite a bit. So another ingredient you're going to need a lot of is fish. The easiest way to get these fish is to just fish. This new minigame came out a couple patches ago, so you might as well take advantage of it. You can collect these fish and then process them in the furnace for cooking. There is another achievement where you have to fish for 2,000 fish, so you might as well kill 2 birds with 1 stone and collect the fish this way. For some of the other ingredients, you're just going to have to go out on the world map and explore. For things like these bamboo shoots, it's just a matter of using the interactive map and knowing exactly where to go to farm large quantities of these items efficiently. So the links in the description, like I said, have the interactive map. They have the spreadsheet that I gave you that kind of shows some of the places to get a lot of these ingredients in high quantities. You can also use the Genshin wiki for a lot of information as well. Don't forget too that a lot of the recipes that you need can be grown here in the Serenity Teapot. Things like carrots, radishes, mints, mushrooms, all of these can be grown here in the teapot. They do take a long time. You have to wait 3 days just to get 8 of each, but they can add up over long periods of time. So now I kind of want to show off my account here a little bit and showcase what I've completed. I have gone through and I have maxed the proficiency of every single recipe. This was a pretty extraordinary feat, I would say. It took me a lot of planning. I used the spreadsheet that I had made and kind of made a daily plan for the things that I wanted to collect every day in order to reach this goal. I would say once I got started collecting, it probably took me about 2 months to actually collect every single ingredient in the quantities that I needed. It definitely was not easy. I would say if you really want to get this done, you need a plan of action. You have to work at it every day. Because if you're not working at it every day, you are going to kind of throw it to the wayside and just forget that you're even working on it at all. So you can tell here that the different recipes are sorted by rarity, and each rarity has different proficiency requirements. So the further down the list I go, as the colors change, the proficiency quantities change. You can see here that the blue recipes are 15 each. So you have to cook each of these dishes 15 times. And considering some of the recipes have pretty high ingredient costs, you can start to see why this takes such a long time. And as we get even further down, we get into the purple recipes, which require 20. There's not too many of these, so it's not too difficult to finish these, but they do require a lot of ingredients. Okay, so that's all of my recipes. There are 100, like I said, so we have 99 of them at max proficiency right now, and this is going to be our 100th recipe, the Adeptus Temptation. So right now I have it at a proficiency of 20, and we're going to take it to 25, and that will complete it. And you can see the window for that one is really tight, which actually makes me a little bit nervous that I won't mess it up, but I have gotten a lot of practice in at doing it, so it's not that difficult. You know, I would definitely recommend practicing on the easier ingredients, but you do need to fall within that dark yellow spot in order to have it count for proficiency. So there we go. You can see I maxed it. Awesome. So that's it. That's all 100 ingredients completely maxed. I hope this video was informative and helps guide you to max your proficiencies in all of the recipes in the game. If you found this video useful, I would encourage you to like and subscribe, and I do hope to see you in the next one.